What's going on, my little piglets? It's your BFF Pork Chop here. I'm coming at you with another video that's a rant, a rave, a talk, a discussion, a ramble, a prediction, a rant about America's team. I said rant twice, so that's how much I'm upset. Anyway, so about America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Before I get started, if you guys could please go ahead, hit that subscribe button to become a piglet, and also turn that bell notification on. That way you get notified every single time I upload a video. And also, if you could use these keywords here that I'm about to tell you. These keywords will give you keys to the kingdom. They will let me know that you are within the city walls and we can all feast together. And those keywords for this video are Dak, deal, blunder. Those three words, Dak, deal, blunder. If you use those three words, that way that I know you guys are watching and paying attention, and I greatly appreciate it, and thanks. So, speaking of Dak, deal, blunder, Dak Prescott, once again, allegedly, he rejected the latest contract that the Dallas Cowboys offered him. So what that pretty much means, if they don't get a deal done by, let's say, tomorrow, then he's going to get franchise tagged. Like that's pretty much what they're going to do. They're going to franchise tag him, because if we can't get a deal done, then obviously the next best thing is to franchise tag him, so that way we know we have him for 1 year, and that 1 year is like a $32 million, I think it was like it rounds up to about a $32 million 1 year deal for Dak Prescott, which is what he shut down, which is what he decided not to do, because apparently the contract was like 33 is what he rejected, and Dak's saying that he wants about 35 to 40. Now, I don't think he deserves the 40. If he wanted to do the 35, okay, I'm not too happy about the 35, but it's a hell of a lot better than 40, and that 40 is more than Russell Wilson. That 40 is more than, some of the other quarterbacks in this league. And that's a little bit, it's irritating, because $40 million could go a long way for multiple players, not just one on this Cowboys roster. The amount of players that we could get with that $40 million, even if it's, $5 million more a year. Okay, so let's say it's a $40 million a year for 4 years for Dak Prescott. Top of your head, how much is that? That's 4, 8, 12, 6. That's $160 million. And let's say they'll probably have like 112 of that guaranteed, some weird number like that. Then that additional $5 million a year, that's $20 million that we could go get somebody in free agency. We could sign somebody to a new contract, like an Amari Cooper or what have you. That could be the difference between feast or famine for the Dallas Cowboys. And I like Dak, don't get me wrong. I think he just got a big head out of nowhere. And, I mean, yeah, he's reliable in the regular season. He doesn't get hurt. He doesn't do anything bad off the field. He's, a very charitable guy. So translate that to your contract, dude, because you already have endorsements through Pepsi, as well as Dannon and Campbell's. You got your endorsements there, bro. There you go. There's your extra $5 to blank million a year there, dude. Just put that towards your salary, and there you go. I just think he's asking too much. And somebody asked me the other day, they said, Colin, what the hell is wrong with Dak? Do you think he's actually worth it? And I say, back when I started doing this little series with Dak Prescott, I said that it was going to be, I would like him to be a 20 to like a $25 million, I believe is what I said. But that's not the case for Dakota Rain Prescott. This guy wants 35 to 40, which, I mean, we had a down year last year. We didn't play so good. This is something that somebody else brought to my attention, that he's stopped doing the overthrows as much because he was captain overthrow his first 2 years of his career, and most of the interceptions that were caused or incompletions that were caused were bouncing off the chest, bouncing off the shoulder pads, bouncing off the helmet. So some of those weren't his fault. Like Amari Cooper had a lot of Terrence Williams-like catches where it was body catches that didn't work. You can't catch the ball. You throw it right in the breadbasket, but you got to catch it before it hits the breadbasket. Don't let it bounce off and then catch it. That's why Terrence Williams is no longer a Dallas Cowboy. Luckily, thankfully, thank you God. So, that being said, just 30 to 35 is what I think that I would take. Even if I was Dak Prescott, I would take that. And realize that you get what happened to the Packers a couple of years ago, which was they gave Aaron Rodgers this giant contract extension, and the team suffered because he couldn't go get positions to fill. The Dallas Cowboys don't need to look like Swiss cheese when the roster is complete come week 1 with the 53-man roster. We don't need like 35 guys that can get the job done and a bunch of backups that can't do jack. So we need to fill some holes. We definitely do. We need a better tight end. We need a couple wide receivers to get in there. We need some people in the backfield. We need some people on the defensive line and the offensive line that can help. We just need to fill in some gaps. So instead of Swiss cheese, you get this nice Longhorn Colby Jack cheese. Looks good on a sandwich. It looks good just by itself. We need a Colby Jack cheese roster. We need a Longhorn Colby Jack cheese roster. If you guys haven't tried Colby Jack cheese, the Longhorn variety, I say do it. It's good. Sorry, I used to work in a deli for a little bit, so I got to try all the cheeses, and that one was probably my favorite. A Longhorn Colby is what it was called. And which is funny though, because I know a guy named Colby and he's a Longhorns fan. So I am not. Saw him off and giggle. So sorry, I had to throw that in. Had to throw a little shade there, a little flex there. That's the end of Dak Prescott. The Dak Prescott discussion. Next up is the Byron Jones contract, which Byron Jones is a good, not great cornerback. Yeah, the guy doesn't get scored on a lot. He doesn't give up the big plays, but interceptions look so good on paper. And unfortunately, that column is lacking. I think he only has like 3 or 4 interceptions his entire career with rookie contract. So, and we do have a new sheriff in town when it comes to the defense that preaches interceptions, turnovers, fumbles, whatever you want to call them. And I think that it will improve. It will help getting this new defensive guy in there. It'll better the roster. And with that being said, maybe if we do bring Byron Jones back, then potentially those numbers could increase when it comes to turnovers on his behalf. If we don't re-sign Byron Jones because of, let's say, Dak Prescott's contract, that's going to irk me. That's going to chat my ass more than wiping my ass with sandpaper. So, that's a hell of a visual, ain't it? And I like Byron Jones. I think he has a lot of room for improvement, but I do think that he's a good enough player that he should stay with the roster. So, that's my opinion on Byron Jones. Next topic of discussion, of course, is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper wants to be a Dallas Cowboy. He says that he would do anything to stay a Dallas Cowboy, and that includes taking a big pay cut to remain a Cowboy. And if he does that, if we are able to sign him, I think it's going to be good for us, because before Amari Cooper got to the Dallas Cowboys, we weren't good. We weren't that great at all. And when Cooper got there, we improved a hell of a lot and eventually won the division because of it. Now, like I said, he does do a lot of body catches and he gets overthrown a lot. He drops a lot of passes, and maybe that's something that we could change in the future for Coop. If we get him in here and we have a new coaching staff, obviously, so we can get in there and we can have fundamentals where he can learn how to catch those balls that are catchable, but maybe a little outside of his range. But just whatever, stuff like that. And the rumor is my friend Tanner, best friend Tanner, that is a huge Broncos fan, has said that he's heard murmurs that the Broncos are like, we'll take you if the Cowboys don't get a deal done. And for him to go to the Broncos, I think he would have a good quarterback with Drew Lock. I think they would actually have pretty good chemistry together. However, I'd like for him to be a Dallas Cowboy. And if he doesn't stay a Dallas Cowboy, then we bite the bullet, use our first-round pick for a wide receiver, whether you get a Ruggs or a Judy or wait till the third round and get Rodgers from A&M. Whatever you got to do. But for the most part, I would love to see Amari Cooper stay with the Dallas Cowboys. But if not, go get a guy. Go get a guy. So, there you go. The last thing I want to talk about is not really Dallas Cowboys. It's partly Dallas Cowboys related. However, we have a new sorry, I'm trying to remember the acronym for it. CBA. We have a CBA, which the players voted on, and they voted yes for the expansion of not only the playoffs, but also a extra seasonal game, which, being a Cowboys fan growing up, especially during the Tony Romo era, we had a lot of years where we went 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. We had to beat, like the Washington Redskins, we had to beat the Philadelphia Eagles or the New York Giants the last game of the year to get into the playoffs. And sometimes we just come up short and we end up 8-8. They would have been one of those teams that would have been the last team with this expansion to get into the playoffs. And that being said, this would help a team that is good despite their record reflecting it, getting into the playoffs and maybe making some noise, and being like the 9-7 New York Giants that would go on to defeat the Goliath team that was the undefeated New England Patriots at the time in the Super Bowl. And 9-7 teams, they've won Super Bowls before, so technically this would be like a 9-8 team or a 10-7 team. That's weird to say, man, because I'm used to like the even numbers. That 8-8 equals 16, so that's an even number. So 9-8 equals 17. That's weird. That doesn't make sense to me, like, at all. But whatever. Anyway, so this would help one of those teams. It also is another game on the TV that the NFL will be collecting more money from. That way they can pay their players. That way they can play for other authorized personnel. They can do this. They can do that. It's just going to be good for their bottom line going forward. And I agree with this expansion. I think it's a good thing. And I think it affects the preseason a little bit. I think it brings that down to 3 instead of 4 games, not counting the Hall of Fame game, which the Cowboys are playing the Hall of Fame game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which because of Johnson getting in for the Cowboys, because they picked like a figurehead that's getting into the Hall of Fame, and that's the Hall of Fame game. So Jimmy Johnson getting in, and I believe I can't remember if Cowherd's already in it or not, but I think that's why they're doing it. So the Cowboys are going to get to play that game, which I'm happy about. So it's a good thing. What do you think about all the topics I discussed? Do you think Dak deserves the money? That's question number 1. Actually, this is the homework for you. Question number 1: how much is Dak Prescott worth? Do you think he's worth the contract that he's trying to get? 2: is Byron Jones an elite corner that we should keep for the Cowboys, or should we part ways? 3: do you think Amari Cooper goes to the Broncos if the Cowboys can't get him? And 4: what are your thoughts on the new expansion? Let me know down below. And like I said, use the keywords Dak deal blunder, and we will go from there. And I just want to say thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. And always remember, my little piglets, Colin Pork Chop loves y'all the most. So y'all take it easy, guys, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys. Say it with me, everybody. How about them Cowboys? Yeah.